What's up, you guys? Today I'm going to be reviewing every makeup product from Glossier's core collection and letting you know what products are worth purchasing and what products you should pass on. About 2 years ago when Glossier first came to Canada, I did a full face first impressions of Glossier makeup. Since then, they've added quite a few new products, so I wanted to do kind of like an updated version of this video where I can talk to you about the newer releases, but also a formal review now that I've been using these products long term. I do have all the makeup products. The only items I'm going to be excluding today are the Glossier Play collection. I do own those products, but I haven't used all of them enough to really have concrete opinions that I can share with you guys, so we're just focusing on the main collection like I said. Before we get into it, all the products mentioned will be linked down below. I also do have a video where I review every single skincare product from Glossier, so that'll also be linked if you haven't seen it. I also do have a 10% discount if this is your first time shopping on Glossier, so be sure to check that out if you want to save some money. I do get a little bit of store credit if you do use it, just full disclosure. It's not like a YouTube affiliate link, it's just part of their referral program that anyone can access. And if you are new, my skin type will also be in the description, but let's get started. Kicking things off with the skin tint, this is a lightweight breathable complexion product. It's very thin and watery, so I find it applies best using your fingertips. A sponge or a brush just absorbs far too much product in my opinion. This will lightly even out your skin, but it doesn't actually cover anything. I am including clips of myself applying all of these products, and I think you guys will see what I mean. Also, I do have the second lightest shade in this product, and it's definitely a bit too light for me at the moment. I know that, but it's the only one I have. This is available in 12 different shades, which, considering it is an ultra sheer product, is actually pretty good because in a product like this, you don't need like a perfect match. It's basically just going to be more forgiving as far as finding a match goes, and they do range from fair to deep, so that's really good. Even though it is a watery product, it still has a definite oily quality to it, like both in the feel and the look. You will see it leaves me pretty shiny. I'm also going to insert a close-up clip right now of my face wearing nothing but the skin tint so you can really get a feel for the texture of it. I've gone back and forth on how I feel about this product, but I've realized it really only works for me on my absolute best skin days. If I have breakouts like I do right now, I can obviously go in with a bit of concealer in the areas that I need it, but overall this just isn't the most flattering product for me because it leaves a little bit too much of my redness peeking through, and it's just a little bit too dewy for me personally. While I don't hate it, I do feel like this is a very niche product that isn't going to work for the majority of people, so for me, the skin tint is a pass. Next up is the Stretch Concealer. This is also available in 12 shades, and it's meant to be a flexible and buildable multi-purpose formula that can be used to conceal dark circles, blemishes, and discoloration. I would say this has a light to light medium coverage. It's really not that buildable in my opinion. Once again, it has a hydrating and dewy kind of formula. It is formulated with avocado, jojoba, and cocoa butter, which I don't love because cocoa butter is quite comedogenic, and I know for me personally, even under my eyes, it will give me melia. If you saw my Sunday Riley review, then you will know that their autocorrect eye cream also contains cocoa butter, and that gave me such bad melia and clogged pores. But anyways, if I'm just looking more at the actual function of this product, ingredients aside, I do prefer this for the under eyes. You will see in the clips that it is fairly brightening. It does crease in the expression lines under my eyes if I don't set it right away, but literally everything does. And to be fair, the breakouts that I am applying it on are very red right now. Definitely works better for more kind of general redness as a little bit of coverage. For me, if I'm using the skin tint and when I have worn it, I like to go in with a more medium to full coverage concealer. The Stretch Concealer over the skin tint is just light coverage over sheer coverage, so it doesn't really do that much for me. If this product didn't include the cocoa butter, I would say it's more neutral because I don't mind this on days when I'm using, say, the Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer. With a little bit more coverage, I think it can look quite nice, but knowing it contains an ingredient that really doesn't agree with my skin, it's another pass for me, unfortunately. Product number 3 are the Cloud Paints. Glossier describes these as having a pillowy gel cream texture. These don't really read gel cream to me. Like if I was describing this formula, I would just simply call them a liquid blush, but I love the Cloud Paints. I use them every single day. They're pretty much the only blush I wear now. Occasionally I will set them with a little bit of a powder blush, but I do use these every single time I do my makeup now, which if you've been watching me for a while, that is crazy because blush used to be my obsession, and now I'm like, just give me the Cloud Paints and I'm happy. I think cream or liquid blush can be a very intimidating product, but these are really easy to work with and they're buildable, so you can get a a light, natural, from within flush, or you can layer them up for a more bold look. They're definitely the most forgiving cream or liquid blush I have ever tried. I like to apply them by squeezing a little bit onto the back of my hand, and then I will start picking it up with the round end of my beauty blender. I basically dab it all over my hand so that my sponge is evenly coated, and then I start applying it at my temples first and work inward, just so I don't have the highest concentration of color right on the apples of my cheeks. If you don't like using sponges, you can also do basically this exact same technique, just using a large dual fiber brush. I do own all 6 shades of the cloud paints. The 3 that I use the most are definitely these 3 right here. These are Puff, Dusk, and Beam. I have actually repurchased all 3 of these shades. That's how much I use them. And these are definitely the shades that are like most catered towards my skin tone. In the clips, you've been watching me apply Puff, and that is also what I have on my cheeks today. I actually really like the 3 deeper shades of the cloud paints as well, but when I use them, I will mix them with Dusk, which is the nude shade, to soften them up a little bit. So I'll squeeze a blob of Dusk out, and then I will add just a dot of Storm, Dawn, or Haze and blend them together, and the finished result is actually really pretty, even though you would typically think shades like that wouldn't work on a complexion like mine. So I think, needless to say at this point, the cloud paints are one of Glossier's best products, and they are definitely worth picking up. We also have to talk about Halo Scope. These are Glossier's cream highlighting sticks that are available in 3 shades. On these, you have this outer ring that is your pigment and your actual illuminator, and then this core in the center is a blend of oils. So once again, we have another hydrating and dewy formula on top of having an actual glowy finish. The second ingredient in all of these is coconut oil. That's something you have to be aware of, because coconut oil is another comedogenic ingredient. I've personally found that I can use coconut and coconut derivatives with no real issues, but it is a major acne trigger for some people. I actually do like the Halo Scopes. I wore these all last summer. For example, it's what I'm wearing in like my Drunk Elephant review and literally any other video that I posted last summer. But for the 3 shades, there is Moonstone, which is a pale silver with a blue reflect. There is Quartz, which is a soft pink, and Topaz, which is more golden. So Quartz is definitely my favorite overall and the most flattering for my skin tone. I'm really not a fan of Moonstone, but I particularly remember last summer I really liked mixing Topaz and Quartz, especially when I had a little bit more of a tan. I find the best method of application for these is just applying them directly to your fingers to kind of warm up the product a little bit, and then just tapping them directly onto your skin for the most seamless effect. On top of the skin tint and the stretch concealer, I don't love how these look. Once again, it is just too much dew and glow for my oily to combo skin, and it doesn't really give these products a chance to stand out. You can't really see the full effect of them. So I would definitely check out a video from last summer where I am wearing them. I'll link one down below. But like I said, I wore these for months, and I do think they are really nice in a regular makeup routine with some different finishes to balance them out. For me, this product is worth it, but it's definitely not going to be for everyone. The final complexion product is the Wowder. This is meant to be a lightly mattifying setting powder that is going to blur pores and cut shine without looking cakey, chalky, or flat, and is available in 5 shades. This does have that packaging that has kind of the mesh sifter. I don't mind it. I know some people absolutely hate this packaging, but I will say it is an absolute pain when you start to get low. Even if you like cut open the mesh at the end, it is so hard to get every last little bit of product, but I agree with most of Glossier's claims for this product. Nowadays, I typically only set my eye area and usually my smile lines. In the clips today though, I did apply a little bit on the center of my forehead and around my nose as well, just to make the glow a little bit more intentional looking. It's light, it's silky, it prevents creasing, it doesn't have flashback. It's never blown me away though. I don't think it's a product that you would regret buying because it does its job, but I just have a lot of other powders I'm more likely to reach for. Moving into brow products, for brows, Glossier has the classic Boy Brow and the newer Brow Flick. So as I have mentioned, I did recently get my eyebrows microbladed. It's been 19 days now since I had them done, so I am pretty touch up. So right now what I'm typically doing is just going in with a little bit of brow pencil just to kind of perfect the shape a little bit, kind of fill in the areas that got a little bit sparse during the healing process, and then I will go in with a brow gel, which I'll probably continue to do because I love brow gels. So that's what's going on with my eyebrows right now, in case you're curious. But in the clips, I started off by applying the Brow Flick. This is an eyebrow pen that has a really nice fine brush tip applicator. Glossier recommends using this to define your arch, extend the tail of your brow, or add a little bit of depth with the nice light natural hair-like strokes that this creates. I wouldn't fill in my entire brow with this product. It's meant more for those little tweaks. The one thing I don't like about the Brow Flick is that the tip seems to dry out really quickly. So every time I go to use it, I kind of need to get it started again on the back of my hand to get the product flowing. And for me, if I'm trying to create natural hair-like strokes, I want to kind of hold the pen like this. And obviously if you're holding it like this, the product is draining out and the bristles are just drying out even more. So it's not the most convenient. But in order to fully see what I'm doing and have the most control, that's just the most comfortable way for me to hold it. I don't mind having this product in my collection, but it's not something I would repurchase. Boy Brow, on the other hand, is a product I love. This is another everyday product for me. Funnily enough, I'm not wearing it on my eyebrows today. I'll link the pencil and the brow gel that I used today in the description box down below if you are curious. But Boy Brow is another one of those brow gels that has a teeny tiny little wand. In the clips, I use Brow Flick and Boy Brow in the shade Brown. This is really similar to Benefit Gimme Brow, Essence Make Me Brow, Soap and Glory Brow Archery. A lot of brands have a product similar to this now, and I do own all three of those other products I just mentioned, but for some reason I always reach for the Boy Brow most of the time. Right now my tubes are just a little bit dried out, so that's why I have something else on my brows currently. I can't even put my finger on like a specific reason as to why I like Boy Brow the most, but it is just my favorite. Brow gel is a necessity for me personally to define the individual hairs and just kind of sculpt and groom them, and this is all I wear on light makeup days now that I do have the microblading done. My only complaint with this product is that it doesn't provide much hold. I know I'm the odd one out on this, but I love a nice stiff, strong hold, hairspray on a spoolie type brow gel as long as it's not going to flake. And I don't have thick or unruly brows, but you will see, especially at the tail, it just doesn't provide much hold. My hairs were kind of like drooping down. Once again, both of my boy brows are getting a little bit dry, so that doesn't help. But even when you have a fresh, brand new tube, it just doesn't provide that much hold. But in my personal experience, I have noticed that most people do prefer a softer hold brow gel. But either way, this is a product that is definitely worth purchasing. The next category is eyes, and the first product is the Lid Star. Glossier calls this a glistening eye glow. It is just a liquid eyeshadow with a toe foot applicator. I really like the packaging on these, and once again, I do have all 6 shades. If you haven't already caught on to this, I have a bit of a collector's mentality when it comes to Glossier. Like whenever they drop a new product, I'm just like, sure, add it to the cart, let's go ahead and try it. Let's buy it in every shade. These are meant to just be applied quickly with your fingers, blend them out, no creasing and no need for an eye primer. These are just way too sheer for my liking. They give you the lightest possible wash of shimmer without much base color over your lids, and they aren't buildable. With most liquid or cream shadows, you can wait about 30 seconds, go in and apply a second layer to intensify the pigmentation, and this works really well. If you try to do this with the Lid Star, they kind of like bunch up and get crumbly and almost kind of remove themselves, and they also don't do well layered with powder shadows, so you can't use them as a base either. Don't get me wrong, a sheer eye product can be nice, but with these, the finished look is just very... I slept in my shimmer eyeshadow and this is what's left over. In case you're curious, in the application I applied Slip on my lid and then Moon on my inner corner. I had really high hopes for these because I typically love products like these, but this is just really the only product from Glossier that has truly disappointed me. And I've tried to make them work so many times, but every time they just fall flat. So my verdict is not worth it. Glossier also has their Lash Slick Mascara. This is a curling and lengthening formula that also contains fibers. If I was designing my own dream mascara, those are basically the top 3 qualities that I would choose. This does have a plastic bristle wand. The bristles are fairly densely packed, which I really like. It also does have a slight taper as well. I've been struggling with my eyelashes my whole life really, but especially lately. I have gotten eyelash extensions a couple times and that is not my issue. My issue is that now when I don't have eyelash extensions on, I feel like my eyeballs look bald. I hate how it looks, so I have started wearing false lashes all the time, and that has actually been damaging my natural lashes. But now I'm in a vicious cycle where my natural lashes don't look great with mascara because they are damaged, so I just keep wearing the falsies and it's just getting worse and worse. Thankfully, basically when you are watching this video, I'm getting my eyelash extensions done again, so hallelujah. But the Lash Slick Mascara from Glossier has become one of my favorite mascaras of all time. This and the Benefit Bad Gal Bang and the original Maybelline Lash Sensational are my top 3 mascaras. So if you like either of those, then you will probably like the Lash Slick as well. It just gives a very wispy, fanned out look. It really does add a lot of length and holds curl. I don't know if it is my eyelashes, like they are really straight to start, but I feel like most of the mascaras I've tried in the past couple years just don't hold curl anymore. Once again, maybe maybe it's just me. And when you're watching me apply this, I did use a lash curler, by the way. I always have to use a lash curler, but some mascaras, even after using the curler, will droop my lashes down a little bit, and this mascara doesn't do that. But like, you can totally see when I apply this on my right eye, it makes such a difference. I don't think it looks as good on my left eye. Once again, we out here struggling a little bit, and that's kind of my worst eye right now. But when my lashes are in their prime, this mascara looks so good. I'll insert a photo here of when I did first start using this mascara when my lashes were a little bit better, so you can really get the full effect. The only negatives are that this mascara dries really quickly, so I find that this formula doesn't do well with more than one coat. It kind of feels like when you put your mascara on in the morning and then later on in the evening you try to add like a little bit more mascara and it's just kind of like crunchy and it just doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? I feel like everyone has done that before. And also the tube itself does dry out relatively fast, so you do have to replace it regularly to get the best results. And finally, we have lips. Let's take a look at the Generation G lipsticks. All of mine are the old formula, but I have also tried the newer version because I bought a couple shades for my mom earlier this year. So these are a sheer matte that are meant to give you the blotted lip look. In general, I don't love a sheer matte, at least anymore. You guys know I pretty much exclusively wear tinted lip balm now, and I think if you're going sheer, a little bit of shine is the way to go. These are very thin on the lips, but they really don't give you any hydration. They're just too dry. My mom had the same complaint. She kept getting Facebook ads for them for the longest time, and she kept telling me like, oh, I really want to try that Glossier lipstick. I really want to try it. So I bought her a couple for Mother's Day, and then she was like, yeah, I really don't like them. And I was like, of course you don't. I think if you do want to wear these, they do best with a little bit of the Glossier Balm.com or any other clear lip balm just dabbed on over top of them to add a little bit of life back. I also find that because they are sheer, they are really hard to get like a nice defined edge, which I feel like is an absolute must for a matte lip color for me. I like these more back when I first tried them. I think I'm just so accustomed to wearing ultra hydrating lip products now that they just kind of bug me. By the way, the shade I am applying in the clips is Cake, and for the swatches, the only shade I am missing is Leo, which is like a cocoa brown. The last product is the lip gloss. At this point, I think everyone who has tried this product has agreed unanimously that this is just the best clear lip gloss ever. I have talked about this in a favorites video before, and it really is just the perfect gloss. It gives a wet, glassy look to the lips without being too thick or sticky or goopy. It has a really nice, beautiful, smooth, plumping appearance. No joke, I get compliments literally every single time I wear this, whether it's in a video, in my Instagram stories, in person. Someone always asks me what gloss I'm wearing. I'm gonna put some on now. It is just so nice. Ugh. I love it. Glossier just recently released 2 new shades in this product. One is called Holographic and the other is Red. In the application clips, I did apply Holographic just to show you something different because, you know, the clear gloss is literally just clear and you've seen me wear it a bunch of times before. I have actually worn the Holographic version in some recent videos as well. I didn't pick up the Red and I don't plan to. Glossy red lips are just like a very specific look, and I don't feel like everyone can pull it off. The holographic gloss doesn't look very different, to be honest. It just adds kind of a hint of shimmer. It's not actually hollow, it's more of like an iridescent, opalescent kind of vibe. You should definitely try the Glossier lip gloss if you haven't already, but if you are looking at the holographic and the clear, I would say you definitely don't need to own both. That is going to be it for today's video, you guys. Just watch. I bet you Glossier is literally about to drop some crazy new makeup product tomorrow simply because I just got around to filming this video. Don't forget to check out that description box for links to all of these products and that 10% discount. And please share with me in the comments if you have tried any of these products, what your thoughts are, and your thoughts on Glossier as a whole. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it interesting, helpful, informative, anything like that. Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I am at SariReanna on both, and subscribe down below if you are new, but I will talk to you guys in the next one.